Some moments stay with you forever, etched so deep they become part of who you are. This is the story of one I can't let go, a moment that broke my heart and still weighs on me. It's about my son, just 3 years old, and a toy horse ride that showed me both my failures and his incredible heart. We were struggling back then. Money was so tight that every trip to the store felt like a calculation. I'd watch my son, his big eyes full of wonder, knowing I could only give him so little. One day we walked into that busy store, shelves overflowing, families chatting, kids laughing. It was just another day until my son saw it. A toy horse ride, a little worn but bright under the store's harsh lights, like it was made for him. His face lit up, pure joy spreading across it. He tugged my hand, bouncing with excitement, and said, "Baba, can I ride it?" His voice was so full of hope. It made my chest ache. I wanted to say yes, to see him giggle and sway on that horse. But I reached for my wallet, and my heart sank. It was nearly empty. Not a single coin to drop into that slot. I stared at the coin slot, cold and empty, then at my son's hopeful eyes. I had to tell him no. His smile faded. He didn't cry or throw a fit. He just put his head down, standing there by the horse, so small and still. That quiet disappointment was heavier than any words. It crushed me. I knelt beside him, my voice shaky, promising we'd come back another time. But inside, I felt like I'd let him down in a way I couldn't fix. The store buzzed around us, other kids running, parents shopping. But for me, everything stopped. I picked him up, his little face buried in my shoulder, his tiny hands clutching my jacket. I carried him out, past the blur of other families, my guilt heavier than he was. I told myself I'd find a way to make it right, to give him that ride he deserved. A few weeks later, we went back to the store. I was nervous, hoping maybe this time I'd have enough. My son walked in, his steps cautious, but his eyes still drawn to that horse. I braced myself, expecting him to ask for a ride, my hand already reaching for my wallet, knowing it might still be empty. But he didn't ask. He just ran his small fingers over the horse's faded colors, then looked up at me with those big, understanding eyes. In a soft voice, he said, "Baba, can I just sit? I don't want you to put money in. I don't want you to put money in." Those words hit me like a tidal wave. At 3 years old, he knew we couldn't afford it. He was protecting me, settling for sitting on a still horse just to feel close to his dream. He climbed onto the horse, gripping the handles, sitting there quietly as if it was enough. I stood beside him, my eyes burning, my heart shattering. How could my little boy already understand our struggles? How could he lower his hopes to spare me? I wanted to give him everything, but I couldn't even give him a single ride. Watching him sit there, pretending it was okay, was more than I could bear. It wasn't just about the horse. It was about him feeling our hardship, carrying it in his tiny heart. He was so strong, so kind, and it made my failure feel even bigger. Months later, everything changed. My son got sick, and we ended up in the hospital. The rules were strict. They only allowed one person to stay with him, and that was his mother, my wife. I couldn't be by his side. I was left outside, sitting on a cold bench under the hospital's glowing sign, the night stretching endlessly around me. Alone with my thoughts, my hands restless. My mind kept going back to that toy horse. I saw the empty coin slot, taunting me. I saw my son's head drop, his quiet disappointment. I saw him sitting on that unmoving horse saying, "Baba, can I just sit? I don't want you to put money in." Those moments played over and over, each one cutting deeper. I blamed myself. If I'd had those coins, if I'd given him that ride, maybe things would have been different. Maybe his sickness, his pain, was my fault because I couldn't provide enough. That coinless moment became my regret, my failure as a father. It wasn't just about the horse. It was about everything I wanted to protect him from and couldn't. Sitting there outside the hospital, I felt so powerless. My son was inside fighting, and I couldn't even hold his hand. But in those dark hours, I also saw his strength. Even at 3, he showed me what resilience looks like. He didn't need the horse to move to find a piece of joy. He forgave me with every smile, every time he reached for my hand. He carried me through when I was drowning in guilt. I saw his tiny fingers touching the horse, his quiet acceptance, his love that asked for so little and gave so much. We kept going, together. That toy horse became my reminder, not just of my pain, but of my son's heart. He taught me that love isn't about what you can buy. It's about being there, holding on, and never letting go. His strength, his kindness, his ability to find light in the smallest moments, they guide me every day. That horse moment will never be forgotten. It's part of me now, a symbol of my regrets, but also of my son's incredible spirit. His love carried us through those hard times. And as we move forward, as the sun rises on new days, I hold on to this truth. His heart will always lead me home.